Family dynamics is appealing to everybody because everybody can relate to family issues. The difference between us and just a regular family is we're running a business. We're running a huge business.
Hardcore Pawn didn't end quietly. Everything fell apart after the cameras stopped. Inside Hardcore Pawn, the Gold family built a business on chaos at American Jewelry and Loan. But what happened next was worse than anything shown on screen. Relationships broke, businesses struggled, and lives shifted fast. So what really happened to Les Gold and his family? And why did everything change once the show ended? Join us as we reveal what happened to the Hardcore Pawn cast and where they all are now. Les Gold, the empire that almost collapsed. Les Gold was the undisputed king of Hardcore Pawn, the patriarch whose decades of experience in the pawn shop and no-nonsense attitude made him a television icon. With his signature style and tough negotiations, Les seemed invincible. Then everything started falling apart in ways that shocked everyone who knew him. Let's start with the truth bomb that nobody saw coming. American Jewelry and Loan was in serious financial trouble even while Hardcore Pawn was still on the air. Behind the scenes, the business that looked so successful on television was actually struggling with debt, declining customer traffic, and competition from online pawn services that were destroying traditional pawn shops across America. The television show had created a weird paradox for Les. Hardcore Pawn brought massive publicity and turned American Jewelry and Loan into a tourist destination, but it also brought problems that threatened the core business. Customers who came in hoping to be on TV weren't serious buyers or sellers. They were looky-loos who wasted staff time and created chaos without generating actual revenue. Even worse, the show's portrayal of constant drama and confrontations actually scared away legitimate customers. People who needed pawn services started avoiding American Jewelry and Loan because they didn't want to risk being caught on camera during vulnerable moments or becoming part of manufactured television drama. The very thing that made Les famous was killing his actual business. When Hardcore Pawn was canceled in 2015, Les lost the production fees that had been supplementing his income and keeping the business afloat. Suddenly, American Jewelry and Loan had to survive purely on its pawn shop operations, and those operations weren't nearly as profitable as the television show had made them appear. The harsh reality of running a pawn shop in Detroit's declining economy hit Les hard. The real estate market crash had devastated Detroit, so the collateral people brought to American Jewelry and Loan was worth far less than it had been. Cars, jewelry, electronics, everything had dropped in value, making it harder to offer loans that both helped customers and protected the business. Les was caught in an impossible situation where he couldn't offer enough money to satisfy customers but couldn't afford to offer more without risking major losses. Competition from online services like eBay, Craigslist, and specialized online pawn services was crushing traditional pawn shops. Why would someone drag items to a physical location and accept whatever Les offered when they could list items online and potentially get better prices? The fundamental business model that had sustained American Jewelry and Loan for decades was becoming obsolete. Les tried to adapt by expanding the business's online presence. American Jewelry and Loan's website was updated to allow online transactions and showcase inventory. Les invested in social media marketing, trying to leverage his television fame to drive online sales. But competing against established e-commerce platforms while running a physical Detroit pawn shop was nearly impossible. The financial pressure created serious stress for Les. Friends reported that he seemed constantly worried about money and scheming to keep the business alive. The confident, in-control persona from Hardcore Pawn was replaced by someone who looked exhausted and overwhelmed by challenges that seemed insurmountable. Personal health became another issue. The stress of fighting to save his business, combined with aging and decades of high-pressure work in a pawn shop, took a toll on Les's physical condition. There were concerning reports about health scares that forced him to slow down and reconsider how much longer he could maintain the punishing schedule required to keep American Jewelry and Loan operating. Les's marriage to Lily Gold also faced strain from all the pressure. Running a family business is difficult enough, but doing it while dealing with a financial crisis and fading fame creates stress that destroys relationships. While Les and Lily have stayed together, those close to the family reported serious rough patches where the marriage seemed at risk. The Gold family's internal dynamics became even more complicated after the show ended. Without television cameras forcing everyone to work together, the underlying tensions that had created drama on Hardcore Pawn intensified. Les found himself caught between his children's competing visions for the business's future, trying to keep the peace while also making sound business decisions. Today, Les Gold is still running American Jewelry and Loan, but it's a smaller, quieter operation than during the Hardcore Pawn days. The shop continues serving Detroit customers, but without the spectacle and drama that made it famous. Les has largely retreated from public life, maintaining a low profile on social media and avoiding the spotlight that once defined his existence. But if you think Les had it rough after Hardcore Pawn ended, wait until you hear what happened between his children, Seth and Ashley. Their feud became so toxic that it nearly destroyed the entire family. What caused the siblings to go to war? Seth Gold, the son who wanted to escape. As Les's son and heir apparent to the American Jewelry and Loan empire, Seth seemed destined to take over the family business someday. He was the tough guy on Hardcore Pawn, the enforcer who handled difficult customers and backed up his father's decisions. But behind the scenes, Seth was planning an escape that would shock his family and fans alike. The truth is, Seth never really wanted to run a pawn shop. Throughout Hardcore Pawn's run, those paying attention could see it. Seth looked increasingly unhappy, increasingly trapped by family expectations and business obligations he never chose for himself. While Les dreamed of building a dynasty with Seth at the helm, Seth was dreaming about getting as far away from Detroit pawn shops as possible. The relationship with his sister Ashley was toxic and getting worse. On television, their conflicts seemed like typical sibling rivalry played up for the cameras. In reality, Seth and Ashley genuinely couldn't stand each other. They fought constantly about business decisions, about their roles in the company, about who Les favored, about everything. The hatred was real and deep. Seth felt Ashley was incompetent and shouldn't have any leadership role in American Jewelry and Loan. He believed she got her position purely through nepotism, while he'd actually earned his place through years of hard work. Ashley's presence in management was a constant source of frustration, making Seth's daily work life miserable. But Ashley wasn't Seth's only problem. His relationship with Les was also deteriorating. Les ran American Jewelry and Loan like a dictator, refusing to give Seth real decision-making authority, despite expecting him to eventually take over. Seth was trapped in a role with major responsibilities, but no actual power. A recipe for resentment that was poisoning their relationship. The pressure of being on television added another layer of stress Seth didn't need. He never wanted to be a reality TV star. The cameras, the manufactured drama, the loss of privacy, Seth hated all of it. While Les and Ashley seemed to enjoy the fame, Seth just wanted to do his job without television crews following him around and editing his life into entertainment. When Hardcore Pawn was canceled, Seth saw an opportunity. Without the show forcing him to stay and maintain appearances, he could finally make a break for freedom. But leaving wasn't simple. Les expected Seth to remain loyal to the family business, and walking away meant betraying decades of expectations and crushing his father's dreams for the future. The final breaking point came during a massive fight about the business's future direction. According to sources close to the family, Seth proposed major changes to how American Jewelry and Loan operated, including reducing the physical storefront and focusing more on online sales. Les rejected these ideas, calling them disrespectful to the legacy he'd built. The argument escalated until Seth basically said he was done. What Seth did next shocked everyone. He basically disappeared from public life. Rumors circulated about what Seth was doing. Some claimed he'd moved out of Detroit entirely, starting over in a different city where nobody knew him as that guy from Hardcore Pawn. Others suggested he'd gone into a completely different industry, deliberately choosing something unrelated to pawn shops or retail. The truth remained elusive because Seth wasn't talking. His social media accounts went dormant or were deleted entirely. Seth clearly wanted no part of the public life that Hardcore Pawn had created for him. While other reality stars were desperately trying to stay relevant, Seth was actively working to become irrelevant and anonymous. Seth escaped to find peace, but his sister Ashley took a completely different path that led to even more drama and controversy. What happened to Ashley Gold will blow your mind. Ashley Gold, the princess who lost her kingdom. As the only daughter of Les Gold and the self-proclaimed princess of American Jewelry and Loan, Ashley seemed positioned for success. What actually happened was so much messier and more complicated than anyone expected. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Ashley was the most hated person on Hardcore Pawn. Fans despised her entitled attitude, her constant conflicts with Seth, her apparent incompetence in business situations, and her tendency to rely on being Les's daughter rather than earning respect through actual skill. The criticism was brutal and relentless. The hate extended beyond just television criticism. Ashley received death threats, vicious social media attacks, and harassment that crossed every line of decency. While some of it was deserved criticism of her business behavior, much of it was misogynistic garbage that no person should have to endure. The psychological impact of being America's most hated pawnshop employee was severe. Ashley's marriage also came under intense pressure. Being married to someone who's constantly being attacked online and criticized on television creates stress that most relationships can't survive. Her husband had to watch his wife being torn apart publicly while she was dealing with family business drama and her toxic relationship with Seth. That's a lot for any marriage to handle. The relationship with Seth deteriorated into something beyond normal sibling rivalry. According to sources close to the family, Ashley and Seth literally couldn't be in the same room without fighting. Their conflicts weren't just about business. They'd grown to genuinely hate each other on a personal level. The animosity was so intense that Les had to schedule their work hours to minimize contact. Ashley tried to leverage her Hardcore Pawn fame into other opportunities. She made appearances at pawn industry conventions, did sponsored social media posts, and attempted to build a personal brand separate from American Jewelry and Loan. The results were mixed at best. Ashley discovered that her fame was tied to the show, and without it, people weren't that interested in her. Her social media presence became increasingly desperate. Ashley posted constantly, trying to stay relevant and maintain the lifestyle she'd become accustomed to during Hardcore Pawn's peak. The content felt forced and inauthentic, like someone fighting to hold on to something that was already gone. There were rumors about Ashley exploring reality TV opportunities beyond hardcore pawn. Reports suggested she pitched show ideas to various networks, trying to recapture the fame she'd lost. None of these pitches apparently resulted in a new series, though Ashley continued trying to get back on television in any capacity possible. The toll on Ashley's mental health became apparent. The combination of public hatred, family conflicts, loss of fame, and business stress created anxiety and depression that she struggled to manage. In rare candid moments on social media, Ashley hinted at the psychological difficulty of going from television star to anonymous former reality personality. Today, Ashley Gold is still trying to figure out who she is beyond being Les Gold's daughter and that woman from hardcore pawn. While the Gold family tore itself apart, the supporting cast members who made hardcore pawn so entertaining had their own journeys, and what happened to some of them is absolutely shocking. Where did the employees who dealt with all that chaos end up? The supporting cast, where are they now? While Les, Seth, and Ashley got all the attention, the supporting cast members were the ones actually dealing with crazy customers, diffusing violent situations, and keeping American Jewelry and Loan running. Their post-show lives reveal truths about what working at that pawn shop was really like. Let's start with Bobby, one of the most memorable employees who appeared regularly throughout the series. Bobby was the security guy who had to physically remove violent customers and deal with the worst confrontations. After hardcore pawn ended, Bobby basically vanished from public life. No social media presence, no interviews, nothing. Sources suggest he wanted nothing to do with the fame or the pawn shop world after his time at American Jewelry and Loan. Rich, another security employee who appeared frequently, had a different outcome. After hardcore pawn, Rich leveraged his television exposure into security work for other celebrities and businesses. His experience dealing with hardcore pawn's chaos made him valuable to clients who needed someone capable of handling any situation. Rich turned his reality TV appearance into an actual career advancement. Les's wife, Lily, played a smaller role on the show, but was crucial to American Jewelry and Loan's operations behind the scenes. After hardcore pawn ended, Lily stepped back from daily operations, reportedly exhausted by decades of running the business and worn out by the family drama. She still maintains ownership and involvement, but at a much reduced level. The relationship between Lily and her children became strained after the show. As a mother, Lily was caught between her husband, Les, and her children, Seth and Ashley. Les expected her loyalty, while her children wanted her support in their conflicts with their father. That impossible position created tension that damaged multiple relationships within the Gold family. Karen, one of the longtime employees who appeared occasionally on hardcore pawn, left American Jewelry and Loan shortly after the show's cancellation. She spoke out about how difficult working conditions had become, with declining business meaning reduced hours and lower pay. Karen described feeling betrayed by the Gold family after years of loyal service. Several employees filed lawsuits against American Jewelry and Loan after hardcore pawn ended. The lawsuits alleged various workplace violations, including unpaid overtime, unsafe working conditions, and wrongful termination. While the lawsuits were settled privately, their existence suggests that working at American Jewelry and Loan wasn't the fun, family-friendly environment portrayed on television. Former employees who have spoken anonymously describe a toxic workplace culture that was even worse before the cameras arrived. The television show amplified existing problems rather than creating new ones. The constant conflicts, the disrespect toward employees, and the dangerous situations, all of that was real, just edited into entertainment for viewers at home. The employees scattered to various fates, but one question remained unanswered. What really caused Hardcore Pawn's cancellation? And could the show ever return? The truth is more complicated than anyone realized. The show was killed by a combination of scandals, legal problems, and behind-the-scenes chaos that made it impossible to continue. What really happened is so much messier than the official story. Let's start with the ratings lie. Yes, Hardcore Pawn's ratings had declined from their peak levels, but the show was still profitable and drawing respectable viewership. Networks do not typically cancel profitable shows unless there are compelling reasons beyond just ratings. Those compelling reasons existed, but History Channel never publicly acknowledged them. The staged content controversy was massive. When viewers began to realize that much of Hardcore Pawn's drama was manufactured rather than authentic, the backlash was severe. Social media erupted with accusations that the show was fake, that customers were actors, and that conflicts were scripted. History Channel's brand was built on presenting factual content, and Hardcore Pawn was making the network look dishonest. Production crews leaked stories about how Hardcore Pawn operated. Producers would allegedly screen customers before they appeared on camera, selecting those most likely to create drama. Some confrontations were reshot multiple times to get better footage. Customers returned multiple times, despite claiming to be first-time visitors. The revelations destroyed the show's credibility. The final episodes of Hardcore Pawn aired with no fanfare, no special finale, and no acknowledgement that the show was ending. History Channel just stopped airing new episodes and quietly removed the show from its schedule. That unceremonious ending spoke volumes about how badly the network wanted to distance itself from Hardcore Pawn. Could Hardcore Pawn return? It's theoretically possible, but highly unlikely. Les would need to resolve the legal and financial problems at American Jewelry and Loan, rebuild relationships with his children, and find a network willing to take on the risk. None of those things seems likely to happen. The show is almost certainly dead permanently. Which Hardcore Pawn cast member's story shocked you most? Did you watch the show when it was on air? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.